Welcome to the StockManor.com studios here in the Black Hills of South Dakota. I'm your StockManor Brian Johnson, making professional trading simple. And the other day, I heard somebody say, that there was nothing broken from the bull side, and that just happened to be correct, actually. So I know, broken record, guys. Really, there wasn't. We had a really big move down on Friday. Goldman Sachs, whoop-de-doo, scary, scary, and nothing really turning around quite yet. Quite yet. Now, if you're an Elliottian type person, you can look at this a couple different ways. You can look at this as maybe an A, a B, and a C, and now maybe we'll start a roll over from this point. Could very well happen. Or you could see this as a 1, 2, maybe just another 3 up. Maybe we're not up, done with this 3 up, whatever. The point of the point here is Elliott Wave as confirmation, not indication for me, especially since we're in a big corrective wave right here. So what am I waiting for? Yeah, just breaks of some more major levels. We get back up and above this 1150, 155 area here and break this high. Then it's game on again for the Bulls. They've done very well so far. Mondays into Tuesdays have been fantastic for the Bulls. So still holding overnight from a Monday to a Tuesday in the indices is not all that scary to me. Now it gets a little bit scary as the week rolls on, so you'll want to use some caution. But you can see here, coming right back down, finding this nice support level, bouncing up, coming back, and off to the races. Apparently attributing it to earnings. So Goldman Sachs, rear view mirror. And we'll move forward, see if that comes up again here in the future. We'll see. As the markets move, the news just decides what it's going to call it today. So you have to take all of that with a grain of salt. Dow on a daily, though, here you can see us right back up towards the top, just waiting. And what are we putting in here? You guys should know this by heart. I mean, this should be one of the most recognizable patterns to you at this point if you've followed me for any length of time over the last month or so. And that is just another high base. Waiting for a break. High bases are bullish. That's correct. Good for you guys. Wow, look at you. Easy to educate. Love talking with you. And a break over the top here just puts us higher. Puts us higher. Still neutral to bullish in my book. As long as we keep poking higher, that's what you have to keep looking at. So 11,200 next level above that. Don't know if we make this blue line again. It's awful steep at this point. But I'm just watching and waiting for these breaks over the top of these here. So 10,950 still my bigger break to the downside for the bears if you're looking to play something short. NASDAQ on a 60-minute was up 10 points today. So obviously not a big deal to for the markets. To yesterday when the Nasdaq was down, didn't really become a leader in the market by any means. Yesterday, it just caught up with everything today. And I'm trying to take a look. Here we go. Looks like the Nasdaq and the SPX were both up almost 0.8%. Dow was the lagger today, but you can see the Nasdaq popping right back. Now here's the curious thing. What would we expect to find on the daily? Yes, if you've been watching me, look at that. Blue line's holding, just as it has in the past for the other indices. It just appears like the NASDAQ is not necessarily a leading indicator now. Now it looks like it's maybe a lagging indicator, where the other indices have already broken and started to retest this blue line. The NASDAQ's just now starting to do it. But isn't it curious how it managed to hold one more time today? I think everybody's waiting with bated breath to see what happens with Apple. Maybe that's enough to push the NASDAQ back up and over this blue line. I'm not sold on any pushback over this blue line for any given length of time, though. Now that it has been broken, this is a very steep angle for this stock to stay at. So be watching the Nasdaq. Maybe we get this little retest of this high, put in a potential double topping area before a little drop to the downside. But interesting to watch this blue line hold the last couple days. Nasdaq on a weekly still pushing towards that 2050 mark. It is only Tuesday, so still have quite a few days left for something to come out of the weekly moves. SPX on a 60-minute, big move up today, up almost 10 points. And you can see it wanting to return to this overhead channel line. Gee, look at that. Touched it today. And we'll see if it causes any kind of havoc tomorrow on a retest. That'd be up around 12:10. I still can't get away from these overhead levels here of 1225-ish or so, which we're going to see on the weekly. But you can see us pull back, tap this 20. Now we've moved up. The Bears don't have much to cheer about yet. And if we break over this 1215 mark, I just cannot see a reason we won't make 1225. And then I'm going to look at this as maybe what a three wave up. This is four of three. This would be five of three, getting up into that 1225 area. It's not much of a pullback for a four wave, so maybe we see some sideways chop here for a day or two. I don't know. It's anybody's guess at this point. Just wait for these breaks. Up above 1215 and down below 1180, 1178. Those are kind of where I'm looking at for my short entries. Weekly standpoint, this is that 1225 we've been watching. It's now 1224.5 on the weekly. And it is only Tuesday, still a long ways to go. Things change rapidly towards the end of the week a lot of times, so we'll be watching this cautiously as we push forward. Coming into the VIX, you can see down again, almost 10%. And once again, this huge move up by the VIX just bleeds to death right afterwards. 2 huge days down in the VIX. There's no fear here, guys. We had 1 day of fear because of the Goldman news, and everybody went, yeah, not a big deal. And so the VIX drops again, coming right back into these lower levels we've been watching. Look how nicely this solid blue line's been holding. But you know what? As it's been touching these lower support lines, it's been breaking them. So my next line below this is right down here and around the, 13, 14 area. So we'll see if it breaks this blue line or not. But look, a big run up only to see the VIX crash right back down again. Still no real fear happening here in the markets. This has been going on since a couple years ago now, since we peaked up here at this huge 89 level in the VIX. Fear has just poured out of the market ever since. Just nobody's worried about anything right now. Apple, yeah, I think, as I said, waiting to see what happens with the news.